Good evening and welcome, everybody. I hope everybody's having a great evening. Sorry, I'm still trying to share out. I hope everybody had a great week. I know mine was extremely busy, so, but I guess that's the way love goes, right? Isn't that what they say? But yeah, man, it was a crazy week, crazy weekend, busy weekend. I went to the Bell Mansion in Fort Wayne, Indiana with my paranormal team and Flatline Paranormal. And let me tell you, it was a great, great, great time. Uh, I got the bejesus scared out of me, like usual, um, which I do have a small video clip I will play for that. So, um, and then Saturday I did a wedding. So I drove 2.5 hours to do a wedding. So, in Greenwood, Indiana. So, first off, I want to say congratulations to my niece Tori and her new husband, Danny Harper. So, congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Danny Harper. And man, Sunday I worked. So, um, yeah, so I do have a couple of birthday shout outs. First off, I want to say happy belated birthday to my niece, Stephanie. Happy belated birthday, sis. I hope the day was as good as you were, or you are. I guess I can kind of say that. Um, Let me see. Krista Swift, my longtime friend, Krista Swift. Happy birthday. Uh, the lady who does my hair, Donna Lynn Stoffel, wanted to say happy birthday. Happy belated birthday to my buddy Ron Two Hart. Um, my cousin Pamela Howe, happy belated birthday. And I want to give a happy early birthday shout out to my friend Carrie Hamilton. And of course, Adrian Clayton, happy early birthday. Happy anniversary to my sister from another mister, her and her husband, Carrie and Ron Bilbo. Uh, Happy 28 years of marriage. Hopefully, it was a great one. And I got to give a shout out, a happy heavenly birthday um, to a friend of mine, her son, my friend Jennifer Vanessa, who is my guest, her nephew. Happy heavenly fifth birthday to Noah Francis Schaefer. Um, yes, happy heavenly birthday. So, with that being said, speaking of Vanessa Hiles, going to be a great show, y'all. I cannot wait. So, we're not going to wait any longer. So, let's do this. Please welcome Vanessa Hiles.
Hi, everybody. It's nice to be on the show with you, Scott, and I'm really excited to be able to share some stuff with you. Um, and, just talk about paranormal experiences and stuff like that.
Yeah, dude, it's going to be such a great time. I mean, I believe in you. I do.
Yeah.
And see, it's weird because being in the paranormal field, I never knew what you had went through until you messaged me and you were like, "Oh, by the way, this and this and this happened," and I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah.
And but I've seen some of your pictures, and I thought they was just poses, but I really I did not really, I guess, realize that you are a witch. In fact, right?
Yes, I am. I practice witchcraft as far as like tarot reading and working with crystals and following the moon phases and stuff like that. I'm still practicing a lot of stuff. I'm not like professional by any means, but I have been working on witchcraft for about 3 years now.
That is awesome, and you enjoy it, right? I mean,
Yes, I love it. I even had a pagan wedding with my husband.
and that is awesome. Now, it does he practice in
Um,
that sense as well?
he doesn't, but he fully supports the craft, and also he like believes in everything. He's not an active practicer or anything like that, though.
Which is, even if you get support, that is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I did share a link to your page, so hopefully everybody will um, guys want to see you go there, just click on the link. People click it on. I'm just checking everything. Okay.
Okay.
Just want to make sure because I don't want to mess everything up. 'Cause I'm going to click on the link just to make sure it works because I'm stupid sometimes and I'm not very. Oh, it did pop up. See, there we go. Hey.
Technology can be very difficult sometimes, you know?
Well, it is when you're old. I mean, I think your dad knows more about technology than I do.
I don't know about that.
I it feels like it sometimes because I'm just like, man, like, people are like, hey, just click this and this. And I'm like, where's that at? I don't even see it, man. Like,
Right.
how do you do that? Like, I'm the type of person that will copy and paste. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I'll just copy and paste it. I'm not even going to um, worry about anything else. So what's new? How long? Okay, so you are pregnant. So how long do you
Yes.
got left?
I'm 25 weeks currently, so I've got just around I think 15 weeks to go. I could be wrong on that. But yes, I'm
Well,
I'm expecting my first.
that is so awesome, dude. Like, you're gonna be such a good mom.
Oh, thank you.
So I gotta ask you because I know you guys go to the zombie walk in Fort
Yes.
Wayne. Now,
Yeah.
do you? How is that? Like, I've never done it.
Oh, it's incredible. I love going to the zombie crawl.
Do you,
Yeah, it's like I'm the kind of person that I used to work
stepbrother?
I used to work at the haunted hotel in Huntington before it closed
Right,
down, and I get a thrill out of scaring people and
dude.
also
That's like the best.
yeah, scaring people and also just the makeup because I've been doing special effects makeup for about 10 years now, and it's just thrilling. And being able to have a day where I'm dedicated to just doing all the scary makeup and going and like freaking people out and stuff and getting pictures and whatnot, it's just really entertaining and thrilling.
That is awesome, and I should do it. I need to do it one night or one time
Yes.
because
Yeah.
last year when it happened, I was at DeadCon, so I was hoping because I knew you and Jennifer had went,
Yes.
so I was kind of hoping I would see you guys walking through because you guys got to come in, didn't you?
Yeah.
But I don't think I got the chance to, and I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah. Say both of my sisters have been doing the zombie crawl alongside with me for about 10 years now. We actually last year celebrated our 10-year anniversary for the zombie crawl. And it was really fun because we've been on the front page of newspapers before, like the Herald Press. We were on the front page of that, and
That is awesome.
we've been on the news several times for our costumes and stuff. And a lot of people find what we do to be very intriguing.
Well, when you got a passion for something like that, you just got to keep doing it.
Yeah.
So we're doing good, Jeff. I don't know if you can see. Jeff asked how the both of us were doing. I'm doing great, dude. I'm alive. I'm kicking. I still look good.
I'm doing pretty good myself. Even though I'm pregnant, I'm not having very many um, issues with my pregnancy. I've had a pretty easy pregnancy.
Good. Your mom says hi too.
Yeah, I can see that. Hi, mom.
Hi, mom. Thank you for supporting your daughter and supporting me. Thank you. So Jeff said he was one of the groundskeepers at the Bel Air house in Ohio. Dude, I'm telling you, man, like I got to work, it might have been last year, maybe 2 years ago. I worked at the Haunted Jail in Columbia City, dude, and it's a good time. Of course, I almost peed my pants because we were so busy that night and there was nowhere to, I couldn't go anywhere to go pee. And I was just like, oh, that's a long time to try and hold your pee when you're a little guy with tiny bladder. I'm just saying, it's not fun. So,
Yeah.
okay, so tell me a little bit about your house and growing up. You went through some paranormal stuff, didn't you?
Yes, some extreme paranormal activity. Um, I actually let's stuff there was a lot of stuff that happened before I was even born. Like when my parents first bought the house,
Hmm.
my mom and dad had went in and taken pictures of the house, you know, to have like pictures of what the house looked like before they did any remodeling and whatnot. And
Right.
there was a fireplace in our kitchen that my mom had my dad stand next to, and she took a picture of the fireplace, and they didn't notice at the time, but in the picture there was a face of a demon in the fireplace. And
Dang.
like we actually had that photo for years. Like every time my mom would get our photos out to look at like old family photos, she would show us this photo, and it was like clear as day. Like it had this like shit-eating grin on its face, and like these scary eyebrows, and like there was no other way to explain it other than it could have been a demon, because like it wasn't a human face. And
Right.
that was just like one of the things that they noticed after they had moved in, you know, and got the picture developed. But they both kind of just ignored it. But my mom, she had decided to do some remodeling in what was my nursery,
Right.
and she was taking out the parts of the wall, and inside the wall she found hair.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, and so she was concerned, and she reached out to her dad and said, "Hey, we found hair in the wall. Can you like look at this for us?" And he was like, "Oh, well, sometimes like back in the olden days, they would patch holes in the wall with like horsehair and stuff, because
Oh,
like
dang.
they didn't have like insulation, so they'd just patch holes with whatever they had." But my
Right.
mom, she looked at the hair and she said that it was human hair. Like it, I think she said it was like red or blonde, and it was like human hair.
Dang.
Yeah, and we don't know what was behind all of that. Like if like somebody put it in there because it's what they had, or you know whatnot. But
Right.
it was still scary nonetheless, because I know from practicing witchcraft that like people will use hair as like a bond to like a curse or something.
R- Right.
And it almost made me wonder if they had bonded that hair to like somebody and then put a curse on that person, and it stayed in the house.
That's a good possibility. Or maybe they just try to bond themselves to the house itself,
Right.
and make it like that that they're attached to that house.
Yeah.
Is it some of these people? I mean, they take their houses really really serious, and it's just like, man, like it gets out of hand sometimes.
Yeah.
Some people are really weird about their houses. I'm probably going to be one of those really old grumpy guys sitting on my porch waiting for the kids to walk by and go, "You kids, get off my porch, off my grass." That's going to be me.
Right.
Oh, oh, look at here. Your dad, the house was evil.
Yes. Yeah. See, like that's what I mean. The house was so negative. Like people in our family, like my aunt Pam and my aunt Teresa, on my mom's side, that's her sisters, they would come and visit before I was born, and they were afraid to go upstairs because the room that was my nursery, where they had found the hair, um it just had this overwhelming negative energy that everybody could feel. And it was just like a moment of clarification where it was like, oh, it's not just us that feels this, other people are feeling this.
Right,
And like all of the women in my family are sensitive, like to paranormal stuff.
right.
We can see things and hear things that aren't necessarily open to the eye, like normal eye. So when they experienced those things and started saying like, hey, we can feel stuff, my mom kind of was freaked out by it.
And and I think a lot of the times that's the way it happens. especially for some of us older group people. Um, I'm sure your mom and dad can relate. So, growing up, we never talked about the paranormal like it does now.
Mhm.
We were always, we were told it was a figment of our imagination or just, don't worry about it, this or that. So we never talked about it. I had stuff happen when I was younger, and I just never, ever just, I didn't, never talked about, never told anybody until I got older about how everything went.
Right.
Hey, Jeremy, how you doing, brother? Thank you for coming in and the support. Much appreciated, brother. And my homeboy David Hope from Dark Horse Paranormal. Thank you, brother. And of course, got to say hi to Irene from Japan. Thank you.
Um,
So, where the nursery was, that was the negative part of the house. So, as you got older, what kind of experiences did you end up having?
well, I ended up staying in that room until I was about 7 or 8, I think. That's the room that I slept in until my oldest sister Jennifer moved out. Um, there was several things that happened to me as a child, and one thing in particular that I can remember is when I was probably about 4 or 5, maybe 6. Um, I was being babysat by my older sister Tiffany, and she was on the phone with a friend. We had those long corded wall phones and whatnot.
Of course, those are the best, dude. Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. So she was sitting on the counter, and I had to use the restroom, and I was absolutely like terrified to go upstairs by myself. It was just a thing that I always had issues with, was going upstairs by myself, especially in the dark. And it was late at night, and my sister was on the phone, so I kept nagging her. I was like, "Please come upstairs with me. I don't want to go by myself." And she was like, "No, I'm not going to go upstairs with you." And I was like, I have to tell her why I'm so scared. And the reason that I was scared was because the night prior, I had this experience with a paranormal being. I don't know if it was a demon or a ghost, but they came to me and they actually had talked to me. I was laying in bed, and there was this little girl who came out of my closet and stood at the foot of my bed, and she had bright red eyes, and she was telling me that if I didn't kill my sister, she was going to hurt me.
Oh,
And
oh,
yeah, and she told me this, and I freaked out, and started crying, and I put my blanket over my head to hide myself, because as a little kid, you think the blankets will save you. And the next morning when I woke up, I had this cut on my hand. It was on my pinky, and my hand was like covered in blood. And I remember just thinking, I didn't hurt my sister, and this is why I got hurt, because
right,
there, like, I had this cut that came out of nowhere. So I told my sister this, and of course, it freaked her out. And she called my grandfather on my dad's side and had him come over, and we told him everything. And he was a firm believer in the paranormal as well, because he had his own experiences at his house. And so he went upstairs and he pretty much said, leave these girls alone. You need to get out of this house. You're not welcome here. I banish you from this house. Like, he was, shouting, trying to get them to leave. And that made me feel safe for the night, because in my head, I was like, okay, my grandpa took care of it. Everything's going to be okay now. But
right.
that wasn't the end of it. It was only just the beginning.
So, did it get like after he did that? Did it get worse? Because there are times, there are times when people will ask you, "Hey, can you come in and do a cleansing or whatever?" And you
Hmm.
can go in and do it, but in actuality, there is times when it actually makes the activity worse
Yeah.
because now, like you, as a paranormal investigator, we have to do a investigation because we got to know what we're dealing with. Because let's face it, Sage just if it's demonic or something,
Mhm.
sage is clearly not going to work on something like
Yeah,
that,
exactly.
you know. So so yeah, I was just like, "Hey, Philip. Hey, brother. How you doing, man? Thank you for jumping in. I appreciate you."
Um, yeah, no, honestly, the paranormal activity got worse. Unfortunately, um, it was it wasn't the end of anything. Like, I really had wished that my grandpa could have cleansed our house, but as dark and as scary as everything was in that place, I don't think it could have been cleansed. And the reason why is because we actually had found out, well, my parents had found out that when my mom was going through stuff in the attic, she found a box of these old photos. And we were really confused because they weren't our photos. And so she brought them down and she was looking through them, and she actually found out that it was photos of the man and wife that built the house. And
Oh, dang.
yeah, they actually, like, it was the first owners of the house. They owned a small convenience store next to our house,
Uh-huh.
and they had they ran a business and whatnot, and they lived there. But my mom found out that it was the original owners, and she found all these other photos of people that looked like they were sleeping, but they were like with family members and stuff.
Yes.
And she was really concerned, so she like looked into it, went to the library, to the Huntington room and whatnot, and she was doing some research, and she actually found out that people
Uh,
were coming to
yes.
coming to the house and having funerals inside our
Yeah.
house. And
And the pictures of the people sleeping with the dead people, right?
yes, yes,
Yes. That is
yes.
crazy. Yes.
So we actually found out that they were um holding funerals for all these different people inside our dining room of our house, because our house was like one of the biggest on the block and in like that area of town. So a lot of people would bring their loved ones to our house to have the funeral because they didn't have the space in their own home. And it was just a,
Okay.
a common thing that happened back then.
Wow.
So we honestly don't know how many spirits were in that house, and if they were from all those people that had been brought, over for
Yeah.
the funeral. And it was just, I don't know, it was crazy when I heard about that. When my mom told me about it, I was like, that is scary. Like, to think that dead people were in our house for, you know, funerals and stuff. That I don't know, it was just crazy. And so thinking back on why we had such issues, especially with like trying to cleanse the house, I think it was because there was just too many spirits, and too many of them were
Right.
negative.
Right. And, and Angela just made a good point about, any house built around 1890 to 1920 had viewing rooms.
Hmm.
Uh, and another thing is, like, we don't know a lot about the property around here, what kind of deaths there were and this and that. So a lot of times when houses get built and stuff, you could be on top of a grave, somebody's grave, and not even know it, just
Right.
because you can't ever tell. Hi,
Right.
Linda, and I'm sorry, I have. What's up, Rory? Hey, Tony, how you doing, brother? I'm just trying to. Hi, Nicole. So yeah, and it's really crazy, you know. I mean, to think that you guys found this picture, and all of a sudden, boom! Like, man, why are these people with these other people that are sleeping? Well, yeah,
Yeah.
uh, guess what? They were fucking dead.
Yeah. And what's crazy is there was a movie called the Haunting in Connecticut, I believe is what movie it was.
Yeah, haunting in Connecticut. Yes.
They went into some deep details about how people would have funerals in their homes, and it had like a sick and twisted storyline to it about how the guy that was holding the funerals was actually etching like spells into the skins of the people that had died, and he was keeping their souls in that house by etching their into their skin. And it just freaked my mom out and was like, what if that's what they did to the people here?
You know, that would be crazy, but I mean, it could have happened. Like, you don't know,
Yeah.
you know? And yeah, Tiffany, I love to listen to stories. You know, you get a hold of me, dude. We'll rock some out, dude. I'm good with that.
Yeah, and we actually found out that the man and the wife that built the house and lived there had they might have had more than two kids, but I know for certain they had two boys that were twins, and one of them actually had passed away from an illness on my sister's birthday. Like, it was
Oh,
Tiffany,
dang.
it was November 26th of like whatever year that they were living or in that time. But November 26th is my older sister Tiffany's birthday.
Oh, dang.
Yeah,
See, I
so
didn't even know you had an older sister. So who's older, Tiffany or Jennifer?
Jennifer's the oldest and Tiffany is
Oldest.
the middle.
Oh, she's the middle child. That explains a lot. Sorry, Tiffany. That explains a lot. But that's kind of odd because Jennifer's the troublemaker.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. And okay.
Honestly, all three of us are troublemakers, to be fair.
That is duly noted because I know you and Jennifer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the two of you.
And I mean, you know our dad, so you know where we get it from.
I do know your dad. I do know your dad. Roger is a troublemaker. That he is.
Yeah. And yeah, so we had that knowledge that, you know, people had had funerals and whatnot in our house. And I think it was like a light bulb going
Hmm.
off for like, oh, that's why we have so much activity. And me and Jennifer and Tiffany, all three of us, we suffered from night terrors. It was like constant for us growing up in that house. Like, Tiffany had nightmares, Jennifer had nightmares, and when I was like really little, from like the age of 2 to like 6, I would wake up screaming because of the night terrors that I would have. And we honestly think that it was caused by that house because the moment we each left that house, none of us had like nightmares like we originally had when we lived there.
Dang. You know, and that kind of makes sense. I mean, we haven't left here, but when Jenna was younger, my youngest daughter, she used to have night terrors all the time. And after like I did an investigation here, I actually blessed the house, and they ended up stopping. So I was really thankful for that,
Mm-hmm.
because she would have them bad, and as a father, it scared the crap out of me because you know, more than as a parent, there's nothing you can do. You just try and comfort your child.
Right.
But you never want to see your child go through any kind of night terror, let alone a nightmare.
Right. Yeah. I remember vividly having my mom or my dad run into my room in the middle of the night, you know, to check on me because I would be screaming bloody murder while still being asleep.
No, dang.
Yeah, and so it was just, I don't know, it's insane. But I saw somebody had asked if the previous owners were Jewish,
Yes.
and I don't know if they were or not.
Yeah, Linda Judd asked that. And then
But
Angela kind of asked if is there galvanized plumbing like lead? And I guess that would be hard to tell in an old house. I mean, your dad might have been able to tell, but
yeah, I'm not sure as far as that. Say, I only lived in the house until I was 12 before my parents got divorced and then we moved out.
right,
But they just well, let's see, it was 2012 when we moved out. So in 2013, a new family moved in and started remodeling the house, and they said that they had like issues while
right.
remodeling. And I don't know how true it is, but I did hear from somebody that while they were remodeling the house, they had a cross that they had on the wall that actually flipped upside down
Dang.
while they were working on the house. And it's interesting to me because the people that lived there for a short time before they moved out and then gave the house to their son. Like, they lived there for a little while, had some issues, fixed up the house a little bit, and then left. And they said that they just left because the house was too big for them. But I honestly think that they might have been scared because
You
they were,
know,
sorry, um,
no, go ahead.
they were extremely Christian people.
You you know, and that makes sense. I mean, yeah, some people will buy a house and flip it or whatever,
Hmm.
but you know, in this kind of town, that's very uncommon and hardly unheard of. You know,
Right,
unless they are a realtor.
right.
Most realtors are going to buy the houses here. They flip them. So for a family to go in and buy a house and be like, you know what, peace, I'm out. Yeah, dude, and I would love to check that house out. So if Tiffany, uh, Vanessa, or Jennifer, if anybody knows the owners now, and if they got stuff going on, send them my way. Because, well, I'll run out too. Trust me, there's video out there in case nobody's seen it this weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. Say, I actually got to talk to the wife of the son who got the house. And at the time, they were still doing some minor remodeling. And I had asked her, because I was curious, I said, have you guys had any issues? Like, I don't know if you believe in the paranormal, but like, have you had any issues? And she said that they hadn't had any. So I don't know if it was just because they were still really new to the house or if the problem had been resolved somehow. Because that room that was my nursery, they completely gutted and tore out parts of that room and redid it entirely. So I don't know if maybe, like I said, the hair in the wall that I had mentioned at the beginning, if they had removed that and it removed some of the spirits that were attached to the home.
Right.
But yeah, she said they hadn't had any issues. And I wanted to see the house, but she's like, it's not in the greatest condition right now, so she didn't let me see the house. It's kind of odd that your light just went off.
well, this, well, so I got a ring light because it just gets so dark in this room. Plus, I
Right.
got a hat on anyway. So my foot just kind of like just kicking it. See what I mean?
Oh,
Stop
yeah.
it, stupid.
I just thought it was
She's like,
interesting.
oh man, here we go. It's over there now. Trust
Yeah.
me. Well, if you ever go over there, Tiffany, and you want somebody to tag along, I'm your dude, man. I'm just saying. And
Yeah.
how'd it go? Nicole, it went good except for the video, in case nobody's seen it. I was a little, yeah, there's a video. Have you seen the video of me this weekend,
I haven't,
Vanessa?
no. I haven't.
Would you mind if I shared it real fast?
Go ahead.
So I'm in the basement of the Bell Mansion. Yes, Nicole, I was visiting that place, and there's like little kid baby caskets in there. This is where a kid
Oh.
area was. And there's this big table like 15 feet from me. Okay. Well, I forgot. I didn't go on the tour because I've been in there so many times, but I forgot the back of the basement, there's a fire exit. So there's a stairs that goes up and down. Well, my buddy Ricky Hilliard was there because he's a volunteer, and my kids are there. And well, they wanted to scare the crap out of a certain guy because, we always think I'm tough. So here I am in the basement. The lights are completely out except for the face or my phone because I'm trying to do a live. And well, this is what happened, y'all. Can you say my name? Oh, let me see. Let me see if I can do this. There we go. Is that how we do it? I'm gonna figure this out real fast. Okay, let's try this. Can you say my name? What the fuck? Holy shit, that just scared the fuck out of me. Woo! God damn. Can you say my name? What the fuck? Holy shit, that just scared the fuck out of me. Woo! God damn. I think I just shit my pants. So, the little guy that's usually a big bad guy, on this night, I had two choices, fight or flight, and I wasn't staying around because there's this big table, like I said, like 10, 15 feet away from me. And dude, that noise that was Ricky with a cone, Roger, with a cone, you know, like you put out for parking and stuff. It went "Rrr." And he did it at the right time because to me it sounded like that damn table moved, and it's a kind of a heavy table. So yeah, I wasn't waiting around. I was in survival mode that night. So so
That's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, and my kids loved it, and they're like, "How could you not see us?" Well, because it was dark down here, and the only source of light I had was in my face because I was on the live. So thank you. So the fact that I was on the live just made us um, made it even better because people that were watching laughed their asses off because they all thought I heard. They thought they heard something too. Yeah. So and we were able to get it on video. So
Wow.
yeah, no wonder it was scary. Yes, I do know there are a few kids around down there. That's why I was trying to communicate with them. So you had this all going on, and so you're older now, and you moved out. So
Mhm.
and now you're speaking of. Hi, Nicole. Nicole, this is Vanessa. Vanessa, this is Nicole. Nicole, Vanessa is a witch as well,
Hi,
and
Nicole.
Nicole, who was on my show 2 weeks ago with her sister Stacy, they are also witches.
Okay.
So maybe you guys can chat if you want. I don't know what witches do. Just don't curse me. That's all I ask. So
That's really cool that they're on here. So it's hi, nice to meet you. Like you said, I'm a witch. I'm practicing. I'm not by any means professional. I I try my best to stay away from, as my dad would say, bad juju. And like
no,
I stay away from things like Ouija boards and any negative kind of, you know, paranormal stuff that, could bring a demon at my door.
spirit boards aren't too bad as long as they're used properly. That is one of the biggest things. I think with a lot of um, and this is my opinion, not
Mhm.
anybody else's. I think with some like movies nowadays, um, when you think about Ouija boards, you think about demons coming through. And I'm not saying that can't happen. Absolutely, that can happen. Anything bad can come through a Ouija board. But I don't think everything is going to be bad if there's a certain protection. Now, what that protection is, I don't know. I have used a Ouija board twice. Um, I've never brought anything really bad home with me.
Mhm.
Thank the Lord. I don't think. I mean, I got kids, so I guess that's one thing. Um, but yeah. So, um,
You better
but
knock
no,
on
as far as
wood.
um, but yeah, bad juju is always good to stay away from. Howard, my brother, how you doing? What are you doing? Thank you for stopping in, brother. I appreciate you. I know you're busy, man, getting ready, trying to get everything ready for Fear Fest. So, and I appreciate you.
Um, my reasoning for staying away from a Ouija board is actually because of experiences that my sister Jennifer had. Um, if you ever have her on the show, you'll definitely have to ask her because she would be able to tell you from her own personal experience, because I was still really little when she messed with a Ouija board. But my dad found out that she had one, and he's extremely against it.
Oh yeah.
And he took it out to our garage and put it in a trash can in the garage. And the next morning, it was back in our kitchen. And that was when we
Yeah.
lived on Tipton Street in the house that we were talking about.
Okay.
Um,
And see, and that's the thing, though, Roger. I don't know if you're still on here. You can't go throw it in the trash. That don't work. There's a lot of things that, like, man, I heard you have to set it on fire. I've also heard that don't work. Uh, the Indian ritual is you bind it up and drown it in water. Well, I don't even, what the damn thing can swim? You know, I don't mean, I don't know. It's going to come back at me, you know.
right.
But I, as a paranormal investigator and as a father who has kids who investigate with him, that's my rule. Like, I don't care what you do outside, but do not bring a Ouija board in this house
Right.
just because I don't know how to protect the house away from anything bad like that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, say I think the reason my dad is against it so much is because um when he was still dating my mother, they had gone out to a cemetery together on a little like trip just to go see, like, look at the stones and whatnot. And my Aunt Pam, who was really little, was at home with her mother, and they used a Ouija board, and the Ouija board told both my grandmother and my Aunt Pam that my mom and dad were at a cemetery. And this was before cell phones and stuff. So they had no idea where they were. You know, it's not like they texted them or anything.
right.
And so when my mom and dad got back to the house, my Aunt Pam said, "You guys were at a cemetery." And it really freaked my dad out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, couldn't they just sent like a smoke signal? Get out of the cemetery. And no, I get that. When I first got in the paranormal 15 years ago, I went over to a buddy of mine, Chris Daniels' house, who is also my mentor, and we did a small investigation. He had a Ouija board, and this was actually the very first time I got to use one. So I was like, cool, you know, because I wanted to see what it was like. And I had my digital voice recorder sitting down next to it, you know, and the night goes on and this and that. And I get home, I start listening to all my EVPs. I'm like, yeah, okay, okay, okay. And then um, I got an EVP that came out and said, there's something about the board. And I'm like, no, what was that? And rewinded it, and you can hear it. It goes, something about the board. I'm like, nope, I'm fucking done. I ain't touching that damn thing again. You know, needless to say, 6 years later, yeah, I would do it again. So, so it's
Yeah.
been interesting.
Say there's probably a lot, like you said, you know, like witches and stuff out there that would know the difference between the good juju and bad juju and stuff like that. And there's probably some good usage that comes from the Ouija board. And I'm not saying that it is negative. I'm just saying that I myself am
Yep.
against using it. And that's just because, you know, that's what I've grown up with. Like my dad was like, "No way, that's not allowed." So
No, and
Jennifer,
you know, and that's good. That is absolutely good.
yeah, Jennifer, she is braver than I am. She went and messed with one, you know, with her friends and stuff, and they had experiences. But I myself just, I say no to Ouija boards.
Right. And I get that. Linda, I just asked to be protected by white light. Um, mostly, and that nothing can harm or, you know, attach itself to me. I just asked to be protected, protected by white light.
Yeah, I kind of just bouncing off of what you just said. I do the same thing. I ask to be protected by any positive energy, any you know, like higher being that there could be. You know, I just say like, "Hey, please watch over me, protect me from any negative." Like I do not allow negative energy into my bubble. Like I am good.
Right.
I am light, kind of a thing.
And as a matter of fact, and that's the point that Linda just made. And I appreciate that for you trying to bounce it out for us. Didn't even, think about that. So, yeah, Nicole says, Yepers, I love to be a witch and ghost hunt. It's an entire different process. We draw the energy. Yes, they do.
Yes, yeah.
Um, like Nicole says, she makes them, but she won't use them, and she does. She makes spirit boards, and they're absolutely beautiful. They do. Her and her sister, they do a really good job. Like I said, you should really get a hold of Nicole, and her sister are called the Wicked Wiccan Sisters, and that's a tongue twister, and they
Yeah.
are so cool.
Yeah, so I'll definitely have to, reach out um to them, because I'm always interested in meeting a new witch, and learning what they have to say, and listening, and expanding my knowledge, because like I said, I'm still just practicing.
And that's good. I mean, it's really good. And you like to do tarot cards as well.
Yes.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
And tarot is the same way as a Ouija board, almost, in the way that it is about your energy that you're using. If your energy is positive, then you're not going to find something that's negative.
right,
Unless it inherently wants to be known.
right. And like my daughter has been getting into them, and I like that's one thing she likes to do. And I'm just now trying to learn tarot cards. And the one thing we do before I even do it, she does a reading, I should say, is she'll sage both sides of the card just
Mm-hmm.
to make sure there's, no negative and whatnot.
Right.
And me being a guy, I'm like, hey, let me see them. She's like, Dad. I'm like, what? You got to cleanse those. Oh, okay, my bad. No, you can't hand them back. What do you want me to do? Because I'm a guy. That's what I do.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. My cards that I have, I've bonded with them, and it's kind of funny. My way that I've used the cards to bond with them is I sleep with them next to me. Like, I used to actually
Oh,
sleep with them in my bed, like they would be by my pillow. But I now sleep with them on my nightstand, and it's just a way to keep my energy bonded with the cards.
right on. That's actually a pretty good idea. And it is true, Linda. It just seems like anything can be turned into a portal. Um, I
Yeah.
went I, I went to the restroom earlier, and their aquatic demon come flying out of in nowhere. I don't know where it came from, but don't eat tacos on Tuesday. Wait, today's Monday. Oh, anyways, yeah. Sorry. See,
No,
I have to be this way.
you're
I
okay.
just do. Um. So, do you have crystals as well? Do you get into crystals and all that?
Yeah, I
See,
have
we
a
have
lot of
some.
crystals.
Do you? What's
Yeah.
your favorite?
Right now my favorite is rose quartz,
Ooh, nice.
which it just promotes a lot of love and positive energy. And the only reason it's my favorite at the moment is because I have a big chunk of it that I've been carrying with me for a while, because I like to carry my crystals on my person.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
and especially just like, however way I'm feeling that day, I like to choose the crystal that I think would go best with input, perfecting my mood.
Right. See, for me, you like. I mean, I don't travel. I don't know. I don't travel crystals. I'm just that dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm that guy. But like obsidian and amethyst are my two favorite.
Hmm.
Like absolutely.
I have a lot of amethyst. It was my favorite for a while.
Talk about the moon.
um, my mom brought up the moon. Um, I'm not sure what part she's wanting me to talk about, but I do charge my crystals with the moon.
Yes.
I'll set them out on full moons and charge them. I also charge rainwater with the moon. And I follow the phases of the moon, and like a lot of the phases of the planets as well. Like if a certain planet is in retrograde, I almost always know because something
You
goes
mean like
wrong.
how? Yeah, Mercury's in retrograde right now. Trust me,
Yeah.
it was one of those days. And Josh, your fish was only 2 pounds. It was tiny. Shut up. We all know that Jim Cole caught that. I have a horror tarot deck, and that's right now. That's what I'm learning, and it's probably my favorite. Um, some people might see it as dark or whatnot, but um, that's that's I'm not saying I like practice black magic or
Hmm.
any way, shape or form, but I'm drawn to that. Like if for me, I guess a part of me feels like um, I should be like a warlock, and I know that sounds bad, but I honestly feel like a part of me, uh, you know, like I should be a warlock, and it's just weird.
It's not weird. I get that. And it's almost like a gut instinct or telling you that you should be that way, because if it's meant to be, then the energy will reach out to you and and make it, they'll make it true because you have that energy in you. So I don't
A
think it's
wizard?
I don't
I ain't gonna be no damn Harry Potter if that's what you're talking about. Yeah, I love the Harry Potter movies, so I just want to make that clear. I would be more Slytherin, but I would probably beat the crap out of Malfoy because I would be the big pimp daddy over there. I'm just saying, because he's a little. I wouldn't want to be like that. But yeah, I would be down for that. I mean, or we use energy from lights or phones.
my sister is bringing up a couple different topics about us being witches. Like I said,
Now, is
oh
Tiffany a witch too?
yes, Jennifer is
How about?
also.
Uh, did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, we got motherfucking charm going on here.
Yeah, and
Boom.
all three of us practice. I'm the one that's been practicing the longest just because I think I reached out to it a little bit earlier than they did, but they practice as well. And I think I mentioned earlier that like all the women in my family are sensitive
Yep.
to like paranormal, and that's why we um wanted to be witches. And there, okay, so to give a little backstory here on the witch part, um, in when I was in middle school and early high school, I did some research because there was this girl on YouTube that was posting videos where she was having encounters like that we were having. And so I looked into it and found out that the women in my family are actually born witches from a branch called the Luciche, which
Okay.
is a type of witch that's passed from pagan and Wiccan. It's like a branch off of them.
Okay.
And so all the women in my family are born into this with different abilities to be able to communicate with the other side. And like we have premonitions in our dreams. We have moments where we can see things that are going to happen even when we're awake. Like my mom, she, for example, um, one day it was right before my graduation party. My husband had gone to Michigan, and him and his friend had gotten into a small accident, and I didn't know at the time. My mom, she reached out to me and she goes, Isaiah's been in an accident. And I was like, how do you know? And she goes, I can tell, I can feel it. And he ended up calling me like an hour later saying that they had been into like a small accident.
Man, see that would scare the shit out of me. I don't want premonitions of shit.
Yeah, no, my mom, she tries to she tries to stay away from it because it's so negative sometimes, and she doesn't want to see the negative things. Like
Right.
when my uncle passed away, I called her crying, and she said, "He's passed away, hasn't he?" And I said, "Yes, he has." And she knew before I even told her because she could feel it, and she had a dream the night before.
Now, do you consider yourself a witch or a light worker? I've seen a couple of people. Um,
Um, I actually don't know what a light worker is, so I can't say whether or not I
right,
consider myself to be one. That's something that I'd have to read about or
right,
potentially
r-
talk to someone about.
right on.
I use the label witch just because it's common. Like people know, like
Right,
what a witch is. I don't really know if I am a witch, quote unquote, but it's what people, if you're talking to somebody that's a Joe Schmo that doesn't know anything about witchcraft, and you're like, "Oh, I'm a witch," they know what that is because they've heard of it before. So I just use that as like my way of explaining without having to go into a whole bunch of detail.
right. And I mean, I get that. Like, I couldn't do premonitions and whatnot. So, I mean, that would scare the shit out of me.
Yeah, it's something that all of us girls have. Like my mom, my aunts, my sisters, and we've all dealt with it our whole lives.
Sorry. I'm trying to get rid of that comment, but for some reason I can't. No negativity on this, please.
But um back to the house, I had remembered something that I wanted to tell you. Um
Right,
my sister Jennifer, her ex-husband Phil lived in our house for a little while, and he had to sleep in the basement because my parents didn't want them sleeping in the same room because they weren't married yet. And so he was staying in the basement for a while, and he had a guitar that he was learning how to play, and he kept that guitar next to the couch that he slept on.
right,
And one night while he was laying there on his little Game Boy, somebody came through and strummed the guitar, like hit every note, and it was like a hard enough strum that it actually vibrated the guitar for a little while. Like it wasn't just like a little bit, it was like full hand across it, like strummed all the chords. And it scared him like really bad. And
yeah,
he said that
that's right.
he said that he would see people like in the laundry room because we our laundry room was connected to the basement,
Right.
and he said that he would see like shadows of people. And that's just something that I wanted to add on to the some of the activity that happened in that house.
Dude, that would be crazy, man. See, you guys are gonna have to let me know where this house is at, because I know you said Tipton. That's all you
Yeah,
got to give me. But I definitely, you're gonna have to give me that. We won't do it on the air, but you're gonna have to let me know off air. Uh, I just want. I got to drive by. I got to see. Be
yeah.
like, oh, that motherfucking house. Oh,
The crazy thing about that house, and my sisters have said this even, every time we drive by the house, we have to look at it. It's almost like we're drawn to it still. Like
right.
every time I'm at that stop sign on Division in Tipton, I look at that house and I have to look at it until I drive away.
Dang,
And it's like it's pulling us to it.
dang. Good evening, Henry. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you.
Um, Tiffany had mentioned that her husband saw Sarah. Um, Sarah was the name that we gave that little girl that I had told you about earlier in the show when I was talking about the little girl that threatened me.
Right.
We had named her Sarah, and um, I guess it was a name that I had given them when I was little. I don't know if that was actually her name or if it was just a name that I associated with her, but
Right.
that's what we called her. And my mom, she told me that when I was like 3 years old, I would sit in the closet and talk to like somebody, and she would ask me, "Who are you talking to, sweetie?" And I would sit there and I would say, "Oh, I'm talking to my friend Sarah." And like I'd be playing with like Barbie dolls in the closet, and that's where she had emerged from.
Dang, that is crazy. You know, and growing up like that, I mean, I'm sure they're like, "Oh, it's just her imaginary friend,"
Mhm.
and then years later, they find out, oh, it was a little bit more than an imaginary friend,
Yeah.
especially now. I mean,
Yeah. And we actually at one point had my mom had a lady that she knew come over who was um I'm not exactly sure what her title was, but I think she was somewhere along the lines of being a medium.
hmm
And she came over and she was, telling us the energies that she could feel and where she was feeling the energy. And she happened to walk into what was the nursery that was my room. And she sat down on the bed and said, "There's someone in here with us. It's a little girl." And we hadn't told her anything.
right.
And as she's telling us this, there was an indention that sat down on the bed next to her. Like we
Nope.
could we could see the bed indent, and we all put our hands over the spot, and it was cold, like ice cold, and it was a hot summer day.
And so she was just sitting there.
Yeah. And the lady was like, "She's with us now and she's sitting here." And that's all I remember from that, because I was still really young. But I don't remember what happened afterwards, but I just remember that stuck in my brain because I actually saw it right before my eyes.
Dang, dude, that's absolutely that would be crazy, even at a young age.
Yeah.
I mean, so well, I thank you for being on. We will continue this. There's going to be a part two. I promise you. I'm promising you that now. I'm going to have Vanessa back on. I'm going to have Tiffany on with her, and if I can get the other bratty sister, uh, Jennifer, I'd love to have the three of you back on, and let's talk some good stories. And oh yeah, now you show up, Emmy, like usual, always at the end. But so yeah, I would love to have the three of you back on and talk some good stories and whatnot.
Of course.
So heck yeah. Um, just a reminder, 1st of June, I will be taking a small break. I will be taking a break through summer. I will be back in either September, October. Um, haven't really, yeah, you better rewatch. It will probably be more likely in September. Summer's just coming up. I got a lot of things going on with work. Um, so next week I have the Spirit Stalkers, the Bruce brothers, Jacob and Noah. So um, it's nice to meet you as well, Linda. Thank you, Linda, so much. Um, thank you for stopping in and supporting us. I absolutely appreciate it. So yeah, so make sure you turn in next week. Once again, everybody, thank my great friend Vanessa. She's an amazing person, and um, I'm very honored that you took the time to come on my show. And I definitely look forward to, man, see, I definitely look forward to having the three of you on here. So, Tiff, get a hold of me, dude. We got to make some plannings. Vanessa, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And remember, folks, if you're not laughing, you're not living. Have a great night and have a great week. Wait a minute. You all want me on the show. I forewarned you guys. I'm just saying.
We don't need no sleep because the party don't stop.